Good evening, everyone. My name is Maria Quiroz, Interim Manager for Small Business Development Department. I'd like to welcome you all to the San Diego International Airport first virtual Meet the Primes event 2020. Most of you remember last year we were at Balboa Park and had over 60 exhibitors and nearly 500 attendees. This year is definitely different, but we still wanted to provide small businesses the opportunity to outreach and connect with the primes. For any business new to meet the primes, the objective of this event is not only to present the industry primes contractors, but also to provide resources to help small businesses become successful, to learn about opportunities, resources, and valuable information that can help elevate your business. With that said, I want to welcome Jacobs, who is our presenter tonight. Welcome, Hani, and thank you for your participation. Please introduce yourself and your team.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you to the Airport Authority and to all the attendees today. My name is Hani Haroon. I'm the Transportation Market Leader for Jacobs in California. We know how important it is to outreach to small, local, veteran, and disadvantaged businesses, important both to the Airport Authority and also to Jacobs as a business. Today we have 5 presenters from Jacobs. Before we begin with the presentation, I would like them to just introduce themselves and their role at Jacobs, and you'll hear more from them during the presentation. So I'll call them out individually. Ron Siki. Ron, do you want to say your name and your role?
Hi there, Ron Siki dialing in today. I serve as the West Region Director of Aviation for Jacobs.
Great, thank you. John Thompson.
Hi, my name is John Thompson. I'm a Senior Project Manager with Jacobs and currently managing our airside contract at San Diego Airport for all the improvements on the airside for the Terminal 1 redevelopment.
Thank you, John. Bruce Rainey.
Hello, I'm Bruce Rainey. I'm the project executive for the San Diego Unified School District program, and I do live in San Diego.
Great. And Rob Brusilski.
Hello, my name is Rob Brukolski, and I'm an Education Sector Program Manager for Jacobs.
Great. Thank you. You'll hear from each of the Jacobs staff members during the presentation. We'll begin with our presentation. And just one note with Maria Ibarra from Caltrans, that we will be taking questions at the very end of the presentation today. So our agenda today is to talk about Jacobs, who we are, what we do in terms of inclusion, diversity, and then a focus on our aviation business generally. We'll talk a little bit about our active programs and projects at San Diego Airport. And then I think the most important part is upcoming opportunities in which we can engage small businesses and disadvantaged businesses and opportunities to partner with Jacobs. We'll talk a little bit about how to do business with Jacobs and how to get pre-qualified in Jacobs's contract system. And then we'll talk a little bit about an outreach event with the CalMentor program that is San Diego based that I co-chair that may be of interest to some of the participants. And then lastly, we've created a contact information slide that summarizes all of the Jacobs contacts and other relevant information, so that one slide could be helpful to you to get access to the Jacobs staff presenting today. With that, we'll talk about Jacobs, and I'll have Ron Siki lead this part of the discussion.
Great, thanks, Hani. So Jacobs in total, 52,000 staff worldwide with 13 billion in annual revenue. I think most of you know that we provide program management, project management, engineering, and architecture design construction management, and strategic consulting, as well as asset management and operations and maintenance planning and strategy as well. Andy, do you want to take this one?
Sure. Really important to Jacobs is our inclusion and diversity program. You know, with the social equity issues this year, Jacobs really wanted to take a leadership role in the industry and created a global action plan for advancing justice and equality. It really has tangible and measurable objectives to address these racial inequalities. And it's part of our Together Beyond strategy at Jacobs, which is really focused on inclusion and diversity of all employees so that they can bring their best self to work. So this really plan is built on amplifying the culture of belonging. Again, in line with this year's social equity issues, it's focused a lot around recruiting, retaining, and advancing Black employees based on merit, and really contributing to a structural change in the broader society. And that's been the focus of our CEO in terms of that commitment from Jacobs and trying to be a leader in the industry. As part of that plan, we are going to contribute $10 million to various causes. And one area that is important to a lot of the small and disadvantaged businesses that are attending today is that Jacobs has committed to increasing the participation of small and disadvantaged businesses in programs that Jacobs leads. And so you'll see that commitment from Jacobs over the next couple of years.
Great, I'll take it from here. So to kind of narrow in on the focus of today's meeting, a little bit of an overview of our core aviation business. So this is our specific to our aviation. We operate worldwide with offices across the globe. Over 70 years of practice in the industry with 1,000 aviation dedicated professionals across the globe. We have 12 centers in the United States that are centered around major hub airports, and those are our centers of excellence, we call them, where we have a lot of resources and capabilities. As I mentioned, on a global standpoint of the company, specific to aviation, we're one of the few firms, I think, that provides really end-to-end services through our former subsidiary, Lee Fisher, offering facilities planning, business and finance, through environmental, our ORAT capabilities through PMCM, landside, terminal design and planning, airside design, and CM, and general master planning at airports. Next slide, Annie. I think this goes to John.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. My name is John Thompson, and I do work under Ron in the West region for Jacobs. I manage one of our centers of excellence that Ron was talking about, and we focus on airside design services. So typical airside design of runways, taxiways, aprons, anything on an airfield, operations modeling. These are all the things that we're doing at San Diego right now as part of the airport development program, as part of the Terminal 1 on the air side. Stormwater capture and reuse is a big part of this, construction phasing, sustainability, and we're working through the Envision process to get certified, and also terminal build design coordination. So right now we started into our second task authorization on this very large contract. We have up to 12 sub-consultants, many small business firms working for us on this contract. And we're gonna go next into construction services, and we'll be doing this through 2027 on this program.
Great, thank you, John. The next program at San Diego Airport that we're involved in is the on-call airside landside engineering services contract. where we're working on multiple projects, including widening at Sassafras Street, airport obstruction survey, rehab apron pavement, upgrade of the EMAX. So in support of the airport's CIP program. And again, we have a team that consists of multiple small and disadvantaged businesses as our team members for that contract. And in general, when it comes to both of these San Diego contracts, we're always looking for participation with local firms that have experience on the aviation side. So of interest are some of the upcoming opportunities where we are still actively pursuing new projects. These vary from aviation projects to non-aviation projects, some in San Diego and one that you'll see with the San Diego Unified School District. For all of these opportunities, we are looking for small and disadvantaged business team members to be part of our teams. And you'll find contact information for each of these opportunities. And you can reach out to those individuals to talk about how to be part of the Jacobs team. Start first with the Sandag MTS construction management contract. This is a program that Jacobs has been involved in for the last 5 years, delivering the construction management services for the Midcoast Light Rail extension that will extend the light rail from downtown to the UTC area. Various projects that we've been working on that program include not just the light rail component, but also commuter rail work with the San Diego River and Elvira to Marina double track, bikeway improvements, and highway improvements, all part of one large $2 billion CMGC contract. Our contact and lead for that is Jim Starling. Again, his contact information is here, and we do have a summary slide at the end that has the contact information for each of these individuals. Their new procurement for Sandag and MTS, it'll be a joint procurement, will be coming out around Thanksgiving time this year. Includes 11 core services and 13 specialty services. Here are the various services that we have subcontract on our current contract, where we'll be looking for similar firms or firms that perform these similar services. And you can see it ranges from field inspection work to office engineering, contaminated and hazardous materials, and photo and video documentation with drones and the like. So if you see services there that your firm provides, you can reach out to Jim Starling, who's the lead on that procurement. I'll talk to this one as well too. This is a recent contract that we have been awarded through Sandag for program management services related to their interest to further the development of public-private partnerships in the San Diego region. So there's 3 solicitations that we were selected on for program management services. Jacobs has a large military consulting practice in San Diego, in particular with the Navy. And then also the evaluation of unsolicited proposals. Some of the upcoming projects range from the new 3rd border crossing at the Otay Mesa East Port of Entry, and then other unsolicited type of proposals related to existing fiber optic duct banks and innovative curve management projects. So we're expecting that to be a very active contract as private investors show interest in infrastructure projects. And we would look for firms that have specialty capabilities related to B3 projects that could be part of our team for that contract. Our contact and lead for that is Roger Johnson, who has a wealth of experience in the development of P3 projects, and his contact information is as listed. I'll now turn this over to Bruce for the San Diego Unified School District.
Thank you very much. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm Bruce Rainey. I'm the project executive for the Unified School District program, working here with Rob Burkowski. And so I have both education and healthcare sector responsibility with Jacobs. Rob is going to walk us through the opportunity that's before us for the emerging business entity and the expected proposal timelines with that as well. So Rob, I'll turn it over to you.
San Diego Unified is one of the largest programs in California, bond-funded capital programs. And we're pursuing an RFQ/RFP that is scheduled to come out in mid-November. The type of contract is what we call staff augmentation. It's a resume request contract that utilizes task orders. And the scope of work is multidisciplinary. It's basically everything you could imagine on a massive, multi-billion-dollar program that runs all the way from planning to closeout and certification and everything else in between. And we're looking for industry partners that meet one of the 4 criteria listed under the Emerging Business Enterprise Program, the EBE. One of the most common questions we get is, what is the criteria to be a small business? And the requirements that exist right now based on the previous RFP is that over 3 years, you have to average less than $10 million of revenue, and then also have fewer than 100 employees. So again, we're looking for industry partners that meet one of these 4 criteria. And next slide, please. I'm sorry, one slide back, please. So the submission requirements are a little unique for San Diego Unified School District, and the requirements specify a need for 3 recent either K-12 projects or even higher ed K-14 projects. But the criteria states that they have to be public sector projects. So our definition of that is that they have a full review by DSA for structural, access, and fire life safety. Another requirement to be part of the team is to be able to submit resumes. And the resumes have to be of current employees. They can't be contingent hires. And those must be employed with the firm for at least 6 months prior to the release of the RFQ/RFP, which is scheduled for mid-November. And here's our contact information for myself and Bruce. I am a support role to Bruce. If you're interested in joining us, please reach out to me with my email address listed there, and I will provide you 3 things. Number 1 is the scope of work. Number 2 is the position titles that will be listed. And then number 3 will be the criteria listed for the EBE small business components. And then just in final closing, one reminder, and the information that we shared here is based on a previous RFP that was released in 2016, and it is subject to change.
Great, thank you so much, Bruce and Rob. Thank you. Another procurement that Jacobs is looking at is the Sandag Design Services contract. RFQ is expected in early 2021. Sandag is currently looking at doing large, medium, and small contracts with the scope of the projects focused around active transportation, commuter rail, light rail transit, and highway projects, and all part of the new regional vision that Sandag has for the 5 big moves to really change the discussion around transportation in the region. And my contact information is there. We will be engaging in a soon to be set up event with Sandag next month, I believe, where we'll be meeting with roughly 100+ firms in terms of outreach for that program. But feel free to contact me as well regarding the Sandag design contract. I'll turn it back to Ron to talk about our aviation regional opportunities.
Thanks, Annie. Yeah, I'm going to see if we can get Jeff Sedlak is also dialed in today. There he is. Welcome, Jeff. So we'll talk a little bit about other opportunities in California where we're actively either pursuing work or have active contracts. And so I'll take the first one and then let Jeff speak to the to Burbank and San Jose. At LAX, we may be engaged with many of you already on a large PMCM contract that we have that runs through December of 2023. So we've got right about 3 years left on that contract. To date, we're running about 44% small business participation. And I think we've got 32 sub-consultants on that team right now. And the general scope is a staff augmentation, project management, construction management, and a variety of other tasks that we perform under that contract. But it keeps me busy, and we look forward to, if you've got LAWA has a need, they'll come to us, and then we can bring you on board or utilize one of our existing sub-consultants. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jeff. Who needs to unmute?
Yeah.
All right.
I think,
So,
yeah, Marie, do we need to add him as a co-host for his audio to add?
I did that already.
I did that? Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it shows that he's unmuted and is, there he is.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we can hear him. Ron, do you want to just present on those last two opportunities?
yeah, Jeff, if you get audio, just chime in.
Okay,
So,
can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, yes, we can hear you. There you go.
I clicked the same button 9 times and now it's working. So that was a perfect segue into Burbank and San Jose, because they're both good news, bad news opportunities, where bad news is we're in a holding pattern with each airport on major terminal improvements. The good news is we have a lot of runway out ahead of us to partner with, small businesses, local businesses, or businesses down in SoCal who want to head up to the Bay Area. So Burbank is a brand new replacement terminal. I'm sure most folks on this call are familiar with that and have been tracking it. It's been in the works probably 3 decades now, but they are closer than they've ever been. And so we are on a team for the design build. And so we'll be needing to fill out that team when the opportunity does start up again. And then up at San Jose, they're looking at an extension of Terminal B to the south. And that was originally to keep up with demand pre-pandemic. But what they're realizing now is they still need it because they're going to see the traffic returning eventually. But what they have now is the opportunity to be more thoughtful about it and do it at a reasonable pace rather than scrambling. So we're looking at a program management opportunity there, very similar to what Ron mentioned at LAX. And then also on a parallel track, we're pursuing a design build opportunity. So we have 2 bites at the apple there. So we'd be happy to talk to anyone on the line about potential opportunities for both of those or elsewhere in aviation. Thank you. Thanks, Ron.
thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you, Jeff. Okay, so a little bit about doing business with Jacobs. So beyond just reaching out to the contacts that you see here that are speaking at this event, Jacobs has a pre-qualification process to get contracts with Jacobs. So the system is called Ariba. It provides internal access to small and disadvantaged businesses locally and nationally. You register through this link, and annually it renews it. It queries you on information about your business, about your health and safety record as a company. Again, we're looking, one, to get firms pre-qualified, but also have those firms be in alignment with some of the Jacobs values in terms of, a strong health and safety program, a good record, etc. So, if you go into the Jacobs link as provided here, and again, it's provided on the summary slide, it is a good tool for you to go in and get this completed so that when you do get the opportunity to contract with Jacobs, you are already in the system and are able to enter into a contract agreement with Jacobs. Okay, other programs and events. I did want to highlight one program that I thought was in line with this Meet the Primes event. It's a program that is locally based here in San Diego, the Cal Mentor program. It was established back in 2007. And the mission of the program was to increase the pool of small businesses participating in transportation projects. And you'll find some of the key agencies engaged in this program are Sandag, Caltrans District 11, the City of San Diego, and ACEC San Diego. Again, the goal of that program is to establish a mentoring program that pairs small businesses with large firms. So as an example, a firm like Jacobs, we are mentoring 2 small businesses through that program. And we develop a memorandum of understanding where the small business lists out all of the things that it would like to get over a 12-month mentoring program cycle. And the large firm assists the small business in helping them grow their business. And it's really like, free consulting. It's a really great program for small businesses. There's approximately about 20 mentor protege teams per cycle. And at the end of each cycle, there is an event where a number of those firms provide testimonials about how that program has benefited them. And so I just suggest that if you haven't participated in that program, to look into that. That current cycle ends March of this year, and then would resume roughly about 6 to 9 months later, the next cycle. So there's a link to the Caltrans District 11 webpage that has the link to the Cal Mentor program, and you can get yourself prepared to participate in the next cycle. Great program. So as a summary, we do have a contact information slide. The contact information slide, so if I think this is being recorded and will be transmitted to everyone, but you can take a picture of this. It's got a link to the Jacobs website. And if you look on the Jacobs website, the first thing that you'll find on there, which again was really important to the company and to our CEO, is the Jacobs Action Plan for Advancing Justice and Equality. You'll find the vendor portal, which allows you to get pre-qualified to do work with Jacobs. And then for all of the staff members that you saw either speak today or were listed on some of the slides regarding the opportunities, their names, email addresses, and their phone numbers. And so, feel free to take a snapshot of that and keep that with you if you're looking to do more work with Jacobs. And with that, we're available to take any questions and answers, any questions from the group of attendees today.
Thank you, Haney. I actually have a few questions on the chat box that I'll be going over, and I'll have to filter it real quick. Okay. Question from Neville Painting. What is PM/CM?
Okay, Ron, do you want to take that?
Yeah, so PMCM is short for Project Management and Construction Management. Sometimes it's program management, but typically it's project management and construction management.
Thanks, Ron. And I do have a few more. Ron, are there any DBE goals set for those aviation projects?
Yeah, so I'll defer to John on the Airside Design contract for San Diego. The LA World Airports uses a small business qualification versus a disadvantaged business. So if they're using federal funds, there is a DBE requirement. Otherwise, everything is measured on small business participation. Those were the guidelines that were in place when we entered into the contract 4 years ago now.
Perfect, thank you.
Comment on the Airside?
Yeah, I don't know if John Yeah, I don't know if John is still on the call, but yeah, for the airport-related procurements at San Diego, we follow the requirements there in the RFQs and related to the small local business participation in those contracts.
Okay, thank you. For the San Diego Unified School District sub-consultant categories and RFP, is the micro small business certification through the Department of General Services accepted?
No, only the 4 criteria that are listed. So if you're a micro, you would, I would assume, qualify as the small business enterprise, the SBE.
Okay, a few more questions. Are any of the projects include IT services or are they simply construction?
For San Diego Unified, there is 1, 2, maybe 3 positions at most that fall into that IT category.
Okay.
Ron, do you want to capture the IT side of the aviation opportunities?
Yeah, I don't think there's any IT in the scope for the airside landside design project at San Diego. With regard to LAX, if the question is directed there as well, LAWA does have separate IT contracts, on-call contracts, but our menu of services that we can provide under our contract would include IT support services as well.
And what if your company is already registered on Ariba?
Yeah, so that's a good first step. So that's great. So that would be number one, I would say, is to be registered under Ariba. And then number 2 is you'll see Jacobs is very active in outreach programs, not just this Meet the Primes event, Sandag outreach events, San Diego Unified School District outreach events. So you'll see us out and about a lot. But I would suggest that if you are interested in any of the programs that are listed, then it's about getting engaged with Jacobs on those programs. And so I would look at it really as 2 steps. There is one, getting pre-qualified in the contracts system with Jacobs, and then 2, outreaching to those PMs or leads for those opportunities to talk about how you can participate in those. So that's the best way.
Okay, next question is twofold from Tina. It's the Burbank project. Any ideas when RFP is going to be issued? And are there any opportunities for design consultants to join the team?
Yeah, so at a recent CMAA webinar event, Patrick Lamerding, who's the airport's Deputy Director of Planning and Development, gave a very optimistic 1 to 3 year window for the release of the RFP. So it's a pretty elusive moving target right now. But like I said earlier, it's a great opportunity, which leads into the second question of opportunities to join the team. I would say, yes, there definitely is. However, the airport has indicated their initial selection will be based for the prime builder, prime architect, and prime engineer in order to not force small businesses to have to put all their eggs in one basket and commit early. They're trying to keep competition and opportunity alive as long as they can through the process. So we're happy to talk to anyone about joining our team and start building that team. But you won't be required to submit, at least what we're hearing, on the initial procurement.
Thank you, Jeff. And from Eric, thanks for the great presentation. Do design professional services firms need to pre-qualify?
Yeah, so all firms that do business with Jacobs, we need to get through pre-qualified. And again, it's really a way for Jacobs One to get firms set up internally, but also to make sure that there's alignment in terms of some of the values. I mentioned health and safety, which is a really important metric for Jacobs as a firm. So we will also want to make sure that the firms that do partner with us maintain the same values same focus on health and safety records. And so, yes, you do have to get pre-qualified to do business with Jacobs. Even if you aren't pre-qualified and you do enter into, you become part of a Jacobs team, you would have to end up going through Ariba to get qualified in the contract system. So yes.
Thank you. And a question on Cal Mentor program. Can you share on some success stories post Cal Mentor program, and how are mentors and mentees paired together?
Okay, great. There's a one-page application that both mentors and proteges submit. Many times the proteges will make requests about the individual firms or the qualities in a firm that they're looking to be paired up with. And there is a steering committee that's formed that consists really of those member agencies that I mentioned, both Caltrans, Sandag, the City of San Diego, and ACEC, along with the Caltrans District 11 Small Business Council. That steering committee forms and looks at how to make the best pairs. Based on experience through 7 cycles, usually has a pretty good idea of how those pairings work. And then those firms go out and meet each other and develop their memorandum of understanding. In terms of what some of the values and benefits that some of the firms have found with some of the small businesses, they get, free consulting in terms of, getting an opportunity to develop a human resources manual and getting value from the mentor about how to develop that. Or if they're having staffing issues, or developing their federally audited overhead rate, and then the accounting team at the mentor firm will help them with that. Or just helping them with, technical expertise to be able to be ready and equipped to do some of the transportation type of requests on some of the projects that come up. So there's a variety of things from technical to non-technical advice that they get from the mentor firm. And the mentor firm then gets a relationship built with that small business that they many times have taken on to beyond the program to becoming business partners. And so those are many of the sort of testimonials that you'll see from some of the small businesses in terms of how they've grown their business, not just in terms of number of employees, but just in terms of maturity of their business from their program documents and having their company ready to take on more and bigger roles.
Thank you. Do you post your bid opportunities on your website or elsewhere?
Not to my knowledge that there's a general posting. A lot of times when we're actively engaged in these pursuits, we're either part of an agency program where they're posting that. There are occasionally when we're involved in some design build opportunities where along with our contractor team that they do create websites and outreach programs related to that. So it varies. But generally, I don't think there's like one place where you'll find all of the sort of Jacobs opportunities, but you will find us at many outreach events. And so I don't think we'll be hard to find. So.
Thanks. Are you planning on participating in upcoming LA Metro projects?
Yeah, very much so. We're very active in most of the self-help county programs across the state with their sales tax measures, LA Metro being one, locally, obviously in San Diego is with Sandag. We're involved in various levels of programs at LA Metro, from program management, construction management services, environmental planning. You'll see the kind of full range of services that a large A&E firm like Jacobs is involved in. So we help them on a range of things. And in fact, actually one thing that we just helped LA Metro with, again, that's, I'd like to talk about what we do as a company from our technical expertise, but also what we're doing to help the community. One of the things that we helped LA Metro with is on workforce development, and they're starting a school program to help, people get more engaged in the transportation industry. And so as part of our action plan, we are contributing funds towards helping the development of that program and that school in the Los Angeles area.
And will signage be an opportunity in the Jacobs scope of work?
Ron, do you have any thoughts about signage, or Rob?
Not on the San Diego Unified, no, that signage would not qualify for what the client is looking for.
Yeah, Henny, I would say on the design side, yes, but installation and manufactured, definitely not.
Yeah. Yeah, we were involved in some programs even in San Diego where you talk about like gateway signs down in like Barrio Logan, where that becomes part of our work either to design it or to work on the construction management side of seeing it constructed. That's usually the extent of the A&E type services that we're providing related to signage.
How do material suppliers receive bid solicitations?
I don't know, Ron or Jeff, you want to say anything about material suppliers?
I mean, my tip on that would be to, start from the client, the end users down, like Planet Bids for certain agencies. Some agencies have their own proprietary systems. I think the city of LA has their own virtual business network or business virtual network, LA Babin. San Diego's Planet Bids, right, Annie?
Yeah, the airport.
So I would start there and register and click as many NAICS codes as you think are tangentially related to what you do, so you're inundated with opportunities and don't miss anything. That's my advice.
Thank you. Is there any use for safety services such as personnel and training?
Yeah, I do know and can speak to at least a lot of our construction management opportunities where, again, safety services is a big role. So for sure on those construction management opportunities, the answer would be yes. I don't know if the other Jacob staff would like to talk about safety services on your opportunities.
Say that it's certainly a component of all of our PMCM structured contracts. And some agencies, have their own safety staff. LAWA is one of those. But we do get asked to provide people on certain key projects, or if they need supplemental resources, we sometimes get asked to do that as well.
For San Diego Unified, they self-perform on the safety responsibilities, so that is not part of the scope for the PMCM RFQ.
Thank you. From Tim, he mentioned that his firm provides aviation, IT/security planning and design consultancy services. Do they need to go through the pre-qualification process via REBA?
Yes, like I noted that to get a contract with Jacobs, you will need to do that as one step. But as a second step, I would suggest if it's aviation, IT related work, that you would contact the contacts we had listed, which is Ron and Jeff Sedlak, and then talk to them about your capabilities and see if there's an opportunity to partner.
Okay, most of the questions are very specific to their companies, and one more from Hal. We are an SBA 8A certified general contractor and specialized in retail and restaurant spaces. We have worked at San Diego Airport. How do we get work at your airport projects?
So Jeff, do you want to talk about some of the design build work on some of the terminal?
Yeah, so that's a good question, whether or not the RFP, the procurement comes out where, the design build that we would be pursuing typically would be core and shell only for the concessionaire spaces. And then a parallel RFP will come out from the airport authority for a master concessionaire who would then partner with local brands for restaurants and news and gift shops. And then they would be the one contracting you for the tenant improvements within the shell. Now they could bid it all. part and parcel. So yeah, in that case, we would definitely want somebody with that history and experience building retail or concession spaces.
Thank you. And another firm that is DBE, MWBE certified, and they support general contractors with professional staffing and staff augmentation services on transportation and infrastructure projects. Does Jacobs Aviation team utilize these types of services for professional positions?
We do. We will often supplement our team with small business partners that do provide those services. I would say the answer is yes.
What about for photography services?
Well, yeah, I don't know if you're speaking just generally to aviation, but I do know that, for example, like on the Mid-Coast Construction Management Program, that as part of our CM services, there's photography that's related to the project, but also drone footage that's taken, and all part of review of kind of the construction sequence and activities. So I don't know on the other programs you have related needs or engagement there.
Thank you. What are the company's thoughts or approach in partnering with large international engineering firms who may actually be competition to Jacobs?
Well, I'll answer just quickly and then maybe Ron can add to that. But I mean, many times, many of the largest programs do involve a lot of partnering with, firms, whether, many times we are competitors to other firms, but a lot of times we're also partners with those firms as well. And that includes, US and international firms. Jacobs is an international firm as well. So we have probably roughly half of our employees are in the US and half abroad. So I don't know, Ron, you were going to add, was anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I think every procurement's unique and different. And so it does tend to be, if the scale of the program is quite large, then we do team. We team with AECOM, we team with Parsons, we team with all of our competitors, depending on the market that we're operating in and how we might complement each other, and the scope of the program that we're pursuing.
Thank you, everyone. I believe that is all from the chat box.
Thank you so much, Maria, for facilitating that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and with that, I think, from just Jacob's perspective, again, I just want to thank everyone who attended today. Thank you for all of your questions. Again, I think important to the Airport Authority, but also really important to Jacobs is the outreach to, the small business community. So again, thank you all for attending today, and I'll turn it over to Maria.
Great. Thank you all for participating in our presentation with Jacobs this evening. So as you've heard, there's a lot of opportunities. So reach out to them, to us. We want you to be involved. So please, we want you to grow your business, to be successful. And that's why we're having these sessions. I want to just go over and take a few minutes and go over our schedule for tomorrow, which is Thursday, October 29th. We have at 9:30, we will start our day with AECON. At 11 o'clock to 12:30, we have the concessions, which is a panel. And then at 3 to 4:30, it's another panel with concessions, airport concessions. So for those of you that are interested in getting involved in the concession arena, please join us or let anybody else that you know that it's interested. It's a great panel. You'll hear the ins and outs, how to do business with us and how to get involved in being part of the concessions. On Tuesday morning, or on Tuesday, November 3rd, is voting day. Make sure everybody votes. And then we will start our day with small business presentation. That is the day that we have for all the different departments at the airport. So make sure you join us to learn about the different ways that the departments do business and what kind of opportunities they'll be sharing, what kind of opportunities are coming up. November 4th is our last day of our event, and we are having our public agencies panel. So we will start with a small presentation in the morning at 10 with our PAC members. PTAC will be presenting a small presentation, and we'll turn it over to all our agencies with a panel setting. At 1 o'clock, we'll start our afternoon session. Same kind of setup, but then we have a final presentation at 1:30 to 2. For all of you that are out there with small businesses, this presentation is about business incentive credits. There's somewhere out there, some credits that you might be able to apply for. So it's a great presentation. So join us. That will be our closing of our events. We hope to see all of you our whole next 3 days that we still have left. And tomorrow again, we will start with AECON at 9:30. Today was our second day of our 5 exciting days with value information to help you business grow. So please take advantage, take notes, reach out to us, as I mentioned earlier. We will be providing you with a survey at the end of day 5. Please take a moment to complete the survey and provide us with your honest feedback. This is what helps us improve in planning these type of events. A special thank you to Jacobs and his team for an excellent presentation. And thank you to our support team. We couldn't do these events without you. So thank you. I will be closing the session now and hope to see you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.